colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Cyprus. Welcome to the Cyprus University of Technology. Let the meeting start. It's a pleasure and an honor to have you here with us. It's also amazing that you managed to arrive to Cyprus today, especially our neighbors from the eastern part. And we are very happy to host you, especially during this key event. We have a lot to discuss, a lot to say, a lot to share, and I'm 100% sure by the time when you leave Cyprus, you will know more. But not in the way as it is expected to know, but in a totally different way and approach. Because we see the digitization, the modeling, the pre-processing, modeling, reconstruction at the end and modeling, the use and reuse of the tangible content in a different way as it is described in our Bible in the contract, okay? And due to the fact that it is a training activity, and because this is what we do, it is worldwide accepted, it is a part of the European Union funded initiatives, and it is, if we like it or not, since 6 months, a part of a new initiative for a new standardization on 3D on a pan-European level. Okay? So this is what we promise to you is to learn, to digitize on a high and model, and have a 3D model at the end of the day on a high standard. Okay? In a such a way so that in the future you will be able to use. Now, once again, welcome. And I want to give the floor to our coordinator, Dimitris. The floor is yours, and let's go. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Well, on behalf of Professor Figas, the scientific coordinator of this project, I'd like to welcome everybody to the second learning and teaching training activity of this project. First, I'd like to thank the host organization of the event, Cyprus University of Technology, and the leader CATS team, Professor Ioannidis, for their efforts and the choice of the beautiful place for our event. I'm sure that we will have fruitful discussion and creative interactions. Also, I thank all the participants because their role is crucial for event success. The aim of this event is to provide guidelines and directives to invited representatives, student academic communities from participating countries, Greece, Germany, Israel, and Cyprus, about the instructional platform for organizing and presenting artistic work related to the research in virtual exhibitions. Our event covers 3 days. Here you can see the key objectives of this event. They should permit me to give a detailed description of the agenda, and this is mandatory from the technical annex. That's why I'm starting from this. Well, as I have said, this is a 3-day event. The first day is about the introduction and current status of the founding project, along with the presentation of essential information regarding the introduction and potential hardware with the use of virtual reality. The second day includes the core of this here, the materials and matters related to platform functionalities and the possibilities they offer. Finally, at the last day, day 3, the representatives of student academic communities attending this event can be introduced on specific hands-on activities related to our platform with the help of Marius Belt team. Not all about this event, and finally the outcome for our participants is fourfold, as you can see in this slide. They will gain a perspective insights regarding the importance of presenting their work in XR4. They can explore and learn new tools supporting related digital materials, different days, as well as their online publishing and promotion. They will receive specific tutorials, manuals, and other guides, best practices, or integration guides. And finally, they will do some networking. They will interact with colleagues, exchange ideas, and so on. That's all related to the data center. And now I'd like to give a presentation about the current status of our project.
Okay, Dimitris, thank you very, very much. If you want to add something else?
No. Thank you very much.
I'm sorry, so we will present the first project result of CREAMS project. It is about requirement verification and conceptual design of the framework for virtual exhibitions. Firstly, the role of the intellectual output is to verify the requirements and the conceptual design of the framework for virtual exhibitions. More specifically, its role is to verify the results from the literature review, define quantitative and qualitative metrics for user acceptability, and set the specifications for the platform framework, and design the conceptual and methodological framework of the CREAMS platform. Then its validation and verification analysis, beginning with the literature review of current challenges, best practices, and open issues in the domain of virtual exhibitions. In the fourth chapter, we discuss the readiness metrics. In the fifth chapter, we present the first version of the framework conceptual design based on the needs of validation and verification analysis.
For the very detailed presentation. Thank you, Stella. And we move to the next presenter, who is physically here on our side, Marius Pelk from the Cognitive.
Start again very quickly. So hi again, my name is Marius Pelk from Cognitive UX GmbH, and in this session I'm going to present the results of PR2 project result 2, which really has to do with the main development of the tools and technologies of CREAMS. I will start with an overview presenting the main objectives, the activities, and the leaders of each task and activity as set out in the technical annex, and then I'm going to go into more detail presenting the latest technologies, the final tools and technologies of CREAMS, which was based on the conceptual design that Dr. Sidel has presented earlier in PR1. And I'm going to show each of the components, the latest snapshots, and tomorrow we can have a live demonstration of some of the technologies that we have been working on. So based on the technical annex, as I mentioned, project result 2 has to do with the design and implementation of the tools that aim to support digitization of physical artifacts and accordingly be able to digitize these and create virtual exhibitions in VR, AR, and MR mixed reality. Cognitive UX is the leading organization, leading partner of this PR, and all the rest partners of CREAMS are also participating. University of Patras, Cyprus University of Technology, Aristotle University of Thessaloniki, Shankar, and NTNU. So the main objective is to design and develop an integrated platform so that higher education institution scholars can create, disseminate, and promote digitally the research results by utilizing a existing and novel solutions incorporating new technologies and ICT trends. And in order to do that, CREAMS platform will support an innovative workflow pipeline so that students can digitize physical artifacts through their mobile application, assign these digitized artifacts to virtual exhibitions. These in 3 different means: virtual reality, augmented reality, mixed reality, and also personalize these narratives. The key objectives: first objective was to design software architecture, which were activities that were run in the beginning, in the first months of the project, aiming to realize the conceptual framework design that were produced as part of project result 1. Second objective was to actually implement the tools and technologies. Objective C was to implement as well metrics and indicators, so these can be used as well in PR3 for measuring user acceptability, ease of use, and so on. And objective D is to implement an open source technology. So everything that has been produced as part of PR2 will be also available as an open source technology. And this is very important to contextualize things, because in order to do that, we had also to build on existing open source technologies such as A-Frame, which is a framework for building web-based virtual reality exhibitions and other technologies. So everything has to be open source so that this can then be provided as open source to the community. Main tasks and the leaders of each task, and task 2.1 has to do with the architecture and structural design, in which we had co-leadership between Cognitive UX and the University of Patras. Task 2.2 has to do with the digitization of physical artifacts and the personalization of virtual exhibition based on customized narratives. Leader is the Cyprus University of Technology. And task 2.3, the development and integration of and privacy preservation of the various developed components. Throughout the project, we have followed a user-centered design approach. Basically, we have produced 3 versions, starting with a low fidelity version that was provided as input to PR3 for a first formative evaluation. We received feedback from end users. This feedback was then provided as input for the second development cycle, producing the high fidelity tools, and now we are running in the last month, basically, of the third and final software development cycle based on the feedback that we received from the previous formative evaluation. We're going to hand over the final technologies to our colleagues from project result 3 for the final summative evaluation, which will run from October onwards. So this is a quick overview of the project result, and now I'm going to provide you a quick overview of the latest technology. So we are still in the main development of the final tools and technologies, but we are almost there. So we have 1 month left, so I would say we are around 90–95% complete with the developments. So we'll start with the conceptual architectural design, and then I'm going to give an overview of each of the components that we have been implementing. So this is a conceptual design that Dr. Sileo has presented. So based on this final conceptual design, we have implemented, we have created the tools and technologies of CREAMS. In terms of architectural design, there were also challenges in the beginning to decide on which technologies to use, what architecture to build. We had to design an architecture. So we basically follow a client-server architecture. We have at the client side, on the left side, the client application. So we have various client applications. One relates to the digitizer mobile application, which is implemented as an Android app. We have the main art-centered content management system, which is a web-based solution. So students and instructors can access this platform, this content management system through the web. And then from there, students and instructors can perform various management activities. Creating virtual exhibitions. This is a web-based VR. It's not pure VR. It's web-based, but it can be shown in various VR devices. We have tested it in Oculus. There were some challenges because of cross-browser compatibility issues, but depending on the VR device, if this is This device supports web-based VR. It can be shown in these types of devices. For AR, we have implemented again an Android application based on AR core, and we have also implemented a mixed reality application, which is a standalone native application built in Microsoft HoloLens version 1, which we can see tomorrow as well in the sessions. We have brought the device with me so that people can use it and see the latest developments. So as you can see, we have various client-side applications, and we have a lot of data that has to be produced, stored somewhere. So that's why we follow the client-server architecture. The right side now you have the server having a database, PostgreSQL. We have built this on Django based on Python, and we have also other technologies in order for load balancing, querying, and so on. And we basically follow. We have built an API, application programming interface, so that the various client applications can call these endpoints and store and manage the data at the server side. A bit more details on the architecture is, as you can see, we have the various client-side applications. On the right side, we have built everything under a Docker container so that we are flexible and have mobile support mobility of the various technologies. We have a web API, Django, Nginx for load balancing, GUnicorn which serves as a web server gateway interface, Celery for asynchronous task queues, because in certain cases there are activities that run at the server side that are quite heavy. RabbitMQ, PostgreSQL is a database technology, and everything is Docker containerized. So quick view on the technologies for reference. Now, a bit more high level now. Final tools. We have the following components that have been implemented, with each component having a responsible partner for the implementation. Cognitive UX was responsible to implement the artist-centered content management system, the platform, the integration of all these components, build the web-based VR art exhibition for students and visitors, and the native mixed reality app. The Cyprus University of Technology is the responsible partner for implementing the Digitizer app for 2D and 3D digitization and rendering, and the Aristotle University of Thessaloniki, specifically the LabGeo, is responsible for implementation of the augmented reality mobile application, supporting outdoor, indoor, and in-home exhibitions. I'm going to go in each one of these components, show the snapshots of the latest version of this technology. Starting with the artist-centered content management system, I would say this is the main entry point of someone into the whole system. So it's a web-based solution. Main users would be instructors and students, but there are also other types of users such as a visitor, administrator, artists, and so on. But these are the two main entities, I would say. So we have the following key features implemented. Instructors, which have certain instructor services. Instructors can initiate an exhibition. This is categorized into a VR, AR, and mixed reality exhibition. Once they do this, they can assign enrolled students to each of these exhibitions and co-advisors. And then on the other hand, we have the students that are assigned to the exhibition, and there are certain tools enabling them to create and manage their exhibitions. VR workshop, AR workshop, and the mixed reality workshop. There are also tools enabling them to manage their digitized artworks, 2D and 3D, manage their media, and another interface that connects the two is the curatorial process, which basically serves as an interface between the instructor and the student. So basically this serves as an interface so that the instructor has a communication with their students, so that they can provide feedback based on the reasoning, the selected artworks, the artworks that the students have selected before they actually start their implementation of the exhibitions. And we also have a communication chat component enabling real-time communication through our platform between these two entities. So I'm going to show some key snapshots. Everything starts with the classic user authentication management system. This system, by the way, is currently live. Anyone who would like to access this, the latest version, they can access the CREAMS website under POC3 section. You can access the system, you can enroll as a student or an instructor, and then you can start using the various services. Now, starting with the instructor. Once an instructor is registered, they can initiate 3 types of exhibitions: a virtual reality exhibition, an augmented reality exhibition, mixed reality exhibition. So these are what you see here is a result of 3 iterations. This is the 3rd iteration. We received feedback in the previous months, and we have made various refinements, and this is what you see here. I can start as an instructor a virtual reality exhibition by entering a title, a thumbnail, the space type in such cases. For example, in this case, I'm selecting the modular space, enabling the students to create their own space one by one, and some metadata. Then the instructor can assign students to the exhibition. As you can see here, these are the enrolled students of the instructor's organization, and they can assign them. And once they assign them, at the other end, the student is available, is enabled to see this exhibition. Instructor can also manage existing exhibitions, edit the exhibition data, edit the existing students and co-advisors, and also access the assessment, which is basically the main curatorial approach, and also add the final assessment. Now, going to the other side, the student now can see the exhibitions that their instructor has assigned to. So here we have the virtual reality exhibition, the augmented and mixed reality. And here we have done several improvements. Now the student is able to enter through a quick link the VR editor, the curatorial, and we have also other features such as backing up an existing exhibition, loading an exhibition, or resetting an exhibition back to the defaults. So I will start with some of these components that are available for the students, starting with the artworks manager. So for a student to be able to create an exhibition, they need to have some artworks in their repository. So we have the artworks manager. Students are able to upload existing artworks, either 2-dimensional or 3-dimensional, which can be digitized either using the CREAMS digitizer application, but they can also use other types of applications, given that the data type is supported by our system. So for 2D artworks, a student enters some metadata and uploads the 2-dimensional artifact, which is basically a PNG or JPEG image. It is stored on the repository, and then this will be accessible through the exhibition manager. For 3D artworks, a similar approach is followed. At the first page, the student enters metadata and the title of the artwork, and also selects the data type. Currently we support GLB, GLTF, and .obj data types for 3D. So I enter the metadata. In the next stage, the system allows me to upload the relevant 3D data files, which is the model, the textures, and any other data type that is connected to the main 3D model, as you can see here. And once I do this, we have also a 3D viewer, so that the student can quickly have a look at the uploaded 3D artifact. So this is a 3D model that Cyprus University of Technology has digitized and sent to us, and this is a result.
We have it also here. And you're going to digitize the tool, it's there, it's in the appropriate place. Yeah?
Very good. So
it's
yes.
Venus, a real replica of Venus. Yeah?
Very nice. And beyond the 3D artworks, with each type of artwork, either this is 2D or 3D, I can also upload associated video, which can be a video, PDF, any type of media that can be associated, so that we can leverage on the hypermedia concept, going beyond the main media and show more information that relates to this artwork. So students are able to access and manage existing artworks, editing the metadata, managing the 3D related files if it's a 3D artwork, managing associated media, and so on. Beyond artworks, we also have a media manager, so that students can upload a video, for example, so that the video can also be included in the exhibition. Now, going to the exhibitions manager, I will start with the VR exhibition manager. So here we have done several improvements. So exhibitions are categorized in three main exhibitions, as I mentioned: VR, AR, mixed reality, and I will start with the VR exhibition manager, the VR workshop, which is, I would say, a component on its own. I've done a lot of work there, but several challenges to go through, and this is the latest result. The technology here, what we have built on an existing framework, open source framework called A-Frame framework. It's open source, so that we can build web-based VR exhibitions in web-based browsers. So what you see here is an actual editor. On the left side, you see the view, the exhibition, based on the plan that I have selected, following the modular space approach. And on the right side, you can see all the tools that are available for each student in order to create, so that they can create their own exhibition. And I will go in each of these tools. So basically, each type of tool is categorized based on a tab. We have the room-related tools, artwork-related, labels, text boxes, videos, an adjustments tab, so that we can adjust existing elements, and the spotlights, adding the lighting element as well. So here, basically, in this example, I have two main artworks that I have uploaded: the 2D artwork and the 3D artwork with the afterlights sculpture. So, room-related functionality, and now we have specific functionality enabling the student to change the colors of the ceiling, the wall, and the floor by adding the relevant color, changing the ambient light and the ambient lighting color. And this is done runtime. We have the artworks tab, which is the main tab in which a student can assign the artwork that was uploaded beforehand and selected during the curatorial process. So I'm basically the student selects a wall in the exhibition, and then the student assigns the artwork on that specific wall. Once I do that, I can go to the adjustments tab, which I will show in a bit, so that students can change the scaling, the rotation, the positioning of each artwork that has been assigned. What you see here is the artworks that have been uploaded beforehand through the artworks manager. I also have the labels, which is basically adding text onto the walls. Videos to the videos tab. So beyond artworks, I can also add videos in my exhibition. And we have the adjustments tab, in which, depending on the element that I have selected in the exhibition, I can change, for example, the text, if it's a text box, if it's a label, font size, font family, font color, and so on, and functionality that relates to size handling, resizing objects by adding a certain scaling value, rotating objects, and positioning objects. And all these elements can be selected by either selecting the element directly in the VR or by selecting the element through a drop-down list, which is quite helpful in cases where I have several elements in my exhibition. And the final functionality relates to the spotlights. For each wall, I can add a certain amount of spotlights by just selecting the wall, adding the spotlight, and then I can change the color, the intensity, the angle, the penumbra, rotation, and the position of the spotlight, but I can also delete them if I want to. So following a similar interaction design as in the artworks. Finally, we have a visitors mode, because in a visitors mode, the visitors may be able to enable or disable, show or hide basically the associated material, which I will show in a bit, or start and stop videos by clicking on them to improve the ease of use. So in case a student would like to see actually how a visitor would interact with these elements, they can get into the visitor mode. Now, the last point related to the VR workshop has to do with the associated material. So we have done quite an improvement here, I would say, compared to the previous version. So in the previous version, the idea here is to upload the artworks, but also associate, create a sketchbook, associate material around the artwork. This was a tab on its own in the previous version, but now we have improved the usability, I would say, by just adding a selection here, add artwork as associated media. So what is this main tool here? Basically is that once I have an artwork and I want to add an existing artwork as associated material, not as the main artwork, I just click enable this this checkbox here. I click on the artwork that I would like to assign as any material, and then I click assign, and this artwork, for example, is connected, is linked now to the main artwork. So afterwards, in the visitors mode, when a user would like to see more material, associated material, they just click on the main artwork and it's shown and hidden. And this is an example of a previous version that we had, which basically follows the similar approach. We have an artwork and associated material which is in front of the artwork. Okay. Some additional management tools, as I mentioned, students are now able to back up at any time and download the main source code that has been generated through our system and load this so that they can keep backups in case there's any mistake, any issue with the system, but they are also able to reset their existing exhibition so that they can start from scratch with the default settings that their instructor has entered. And this is accessible through the main VR exhibitions. On the right side you can see the load exhibition button where a student can enter this page, loading the exhibition or resetting it in case they would like to start from scratch. Now for viewing the exhibitions, we have created a view exhibitions page and the main VR viewer. So this is also accessible right now. Our colleagues from Schenkar, last week they have run summer workshop with students. They have created very nice exhibitions, which will be one of the topics of presentation tomorrow. And these are also accessible right now through the online live server. So basically a user can access each of these exhibitions. Once they enter, they can see the actual exhibitions that the students have created. And this is the VR view. Basically, the visitor is able to navigate through the exhibition, and we have also some quick links to improve overcome, I would say, some challenges and issues, but it also helps in terms of user experience. Users are able to toggle, enable or disable all the associated material, or start and stop the videos that are assigned in this exhibition. So going to the next type of exhibitions, this relates to the mixed reality exhibitions in the editor. Again, this is accessible in a similar way through the VR exhibitions manager. An instructor creates a mixed reality exhibition, enters the metadata, and here a student can assign basically from their existing set of artworks, they can assign the artworks that they would like to be included in the mixed reality exhibition. And these artworks are then accessible through the Microsoft HoloLens application that we have built. In a similar manner, this will be done through the AR exhibition. This is something like that we are currently working on, and in a similar way, students will be able to assign artworks to the AR exhibition and then assign it to a certain location on the Google Maps, if it's an outdoor exhibition or indoor and in-home exhibition. Now, some more words on the teacher services. We have implemented the assessment and curatorial process, which is another component of the whole system that enables basically the instructor to assess and also communicate with the students by following this curatorial process. So here instructors access the students that have been assigned to the exhibition. They can either open it directly a chat, see the exhibition of each student directly, so this serves as a quick link. They can open the curatorial process, and once they have gone through all the stages, they can also enter the final assessment of the students. So going through the curatorial process, which is basically an approach in which the instructor provides feedback on the selection of artworks for each student, the reasoning behind it, before the students actually start implementing the exhibition. So it serves as an interface. So we have implemented all these stages, enabling the student to select artworks for the exhibition by just selecting the artworks, grouping them, creating a group, and then assigning the artworks to each of these groups, describing the arrangements, the reasoning behind it for each group. Once they do this, the instructor at the other end are able to see for each of the students the selections they have made, the groupings they have made, provide feedback so that the student can then improve, change the arrangement and the groupings. So all this is, as I mentioned, it's an interface so that students can communicate with their instructor before they actually start implementing the exhibition. Students further read the feedback, edit the description, then they enter the title of the exhibition, some more metadata, and once all this is done, in the last stage, the instructor is able to enter the final assessment, which can be entered in the form of free text or uploading the PDF file. And finally, we have the communication service, which is a real-time communication service so that the instructor and student can communicate through chat through our system. Moving on, a quick view on the CREAMS augmented reality application that is being implemented by our partners from the Aristotle University of Thessaloniki. So basically the AR app is another application built in Android, enabling a visitor to interact with the students' artifacts, which have been implemented through the artist-centered content management system. And this application basically supports 3 types of exhibitions. Outdoor exhibitions, once a student has assigned the artwork to the exhibition and pinpointed it in a certain location. Once the visitor is near that location, the artwork is augmented on the Android application. This is the outdoor exhibition. It also supports indoor exhibitions, which is basically similar to outdoor but without using the geolocation services, and we have also the in-home, in which users may be able to scan a QR code generated by the main CMS, and the artwork that is connected to that QR is shown in the AR application. In terms of current status, the team is currently working on, it has successfully augmented locally saved 3D artifacts, and it has successfully implemented the QR feature in all the different types of exhibitions. And now the next step is to integrate basically with Cognitive UX the 3D augmentation through API calls so that we integrate all the technologies under this platform. Last component relates to the CREAMS Digitizer application. So basically, related to the CREAMS Digitizer app, we have 2 main applications. One is the 2D Digitizer, which has been implemented as an Android app, which enables end users to take snapshots of a 2-dimensional artifact, cropping it and uploading it to the CREAMS server, and through this snapshot of cropping functionality. And our colleagues from the Cyprus University of Technology are currently working on the second application, which is built as an Android app for 3D digitization. Basically, it will be a standalone application that will enable the end users to take snapshots of 3D physical artifacts, and the 3D model will be generated on the mobile phone, which can then be uploaded in the CREAMS web-based content management system. And finally, some words on the native mixed reality app, the HoloLens, which we will see tomorrow. Here, again, the third type of exhibition can be a mixed reality app. Students assign artworks into that exhibition, and then a visitor accesses this exhibition through a native HoloLens application using the Microsoft HoloLens version 1. What we have implemented here are the following features. Once the visitor logs into the device, they are able to access basically the main menu, accessing an artworks gallery, which are all the artworks uploaded by the students. We have also implemented an artwork extended view so that the visitors can also move around the artworks through hand gestures and also see the associated media to each artwork. We have implemented a mechanism that matches an artwork from the physical world, and through image similarity, it downloads basically the digitized version of that physical artifact, and the main aim here is to bridge and mix the physical with the digital world, so that we have a true mixed reality app. We have a cognitive agent, which is basically this was also we have run a user study here, so that we enable the user to make questions to the system, and based on LLMs through ChatGPT integration, the cognitive agent answers back in the form of text to the end user about information related to that artwork. And we have also found out the exhibitions, in which I enter an exhibition and I can see the assigned artworks. So this is the artworks gallery. So this is augmented through the mixed reality app, and I can move around and interact with it through hand gestures using the HoloLens built-in hand gesture mechanism. I can see information, associated media related to that artwork. I have an extended view in which I can move around with my hands, through hand gestures, the associated media. This is a snapshot of taking a snapshot of an artifact that is in the physical world. This image from the physical world is then compared to the digitized artworks in the CREAMS database. Through image-based similarity, it then shows the top 3 relevant images, and the user can then click on the digitized artifact, and associated media is shown related to that digitized artifact. This is a snapshot of the cognitive agent. So this was based on a user study that we have also. We have a demo paper. It was submitted at the ACN UMA conference, which is the premier personalization conference in July, in which we have won the best demo award. So this basically is a snapshot of a study in which we show predefined artworks, and the users can record and ask questions related to that specific artwork, and through an LLM integration, ChatGPT, the ChatGPT answers back and provides information about, based on the question the user has done, gives an answer related to that specific artwork. And this is the demo award that we received in July 1st until 4th. This is the 32nd ACM conference that is focused on user modeling, adaptation, personalization. It's one of the it's a well-known conference. It's one of the premier conferences on personalization. I think this is a very good outcome for the project. And finally, this is the exhibitions viewer in mixed reality. So as I mentioned, the exhibitions have been created by the instructors. The students have assigned the artworks, and then a user can see either a 3D artwork or the 2D artwork. This is a quick view in which we have 2-dimensional, 3-dimensional artworks and videos assigned into that specific exhibition. Now, as I mentioned, we are currently still in the development cycle. It's still active. This PR is still active. We have some pending items until we finalize in September, until the end of September. So we have implemented the recommendation engine, and it still needs to be integrated in the CREAMS platform. Basically, we need to enable the selection of metadata and keywords for the artworks and exhibitions, so that this can be fed into the recommendation engine, so that users, visitors can get recommendations on the exhibitions that match their preferences and interests. We have finalized the mixed reality exhibition editor. We need to do some integration testing, and we also need to finalize the AR exhibition editor integration with the AR application. And related to the digitizer application, we need to finalize and complete the 3D digitization application, which will be also available through the CREAMS tools and technology set as part of the final set of tools that will be used for the summative evaluation. So, thank you for your attention, and happy to answer any questions.
So, for your presentation, I couldn't exactly understand what's the difference between the mixed reality and the augmented reality, and how it's related to the study process with the professor and the students.
Different types of exhibitions. We have the VR, AR, and MR. So what you have done was basically you followed all the scenario of creating a VR exhibition, assigning the artworks, and so on. So you were not involved in the AR and MR exhibitions. Now, if I want to create as a student, starting with instructor, create an exhibition for augmented reality, through the system, the instructor creates an AR exhibition, assigns the students in a similar approach like in the VR, and then students on the other side they will not go through the VR editor. This is decoupled, it's another thing. Basically, we will have tools that will enable students to assign artwork, the existing artworks, which are part of the repository, to their AR exhibition. Now, there are three scenarios there. We have, in case I have an outdoor exhibition, I can assign the artwork to a specific location. Let's say I would like to create an outdoor exhibition in Limassol, the site for University of Technology. I will go zoom into Google Maps, go into this location where the library is in Limassol, and I will assign the specific artwork on a specific location. The geolocation information is stored, and then a visitor using the client-based AR app, which is another application, someone needs to download it and install it on their mobile phone. Once they enter this exhibition and they are physically near the location where I have assigned the artwork, it will augment it in my mobile phone. So this supports outdoor AR exhibitions.
The AR is only accessible through a smartphone, not through the HoloLens?
It's an Android-based application, yes.
No, it's not through the HoloLens.
No. It's an Android application. It's an AR. Basically, the augmentation is it's augmenting the artwork on the phone. I see the physical space, and it augments either 3D or 2D. If it's an outdoor, if I'm near it, it will show it to me. But it also supports indoor exhibitions, let's say, which is not coupled with the location, but it can be in a physical space. I can augment it on the wall to see how a 2D artifact shows is illustrated in my wall, or by also connecting it with a QR. So basically I can create a real-life exhibition, print the QR, have it next to it, and once through the AR app you scan it, it shows additional information or the digitized version of that physical artwork. So this is the AR exhibition. The mixed reality exhibition is another type of exhibition. It's the third type of exhibition where similarly someone initiates the exhibition, I assign the artworks, and these artworks are now accessible through Microsoft HoloLens. It's a native application only, and it supports. It has the features that I have mentioned, showing the artworks gallery, bridging, basically connecting the physical artwork with the digital one, cognitive assistant.
So in mixed reality, you don't connect physical artwork with digital artwork?
No, this is one feature.
Space.
You are in the physical space, you can see the physical, and basically there's a thin line there between mixed and augmented reality. It's again augmented, but in order to be truly in a mixed reality context, we basically have a feature where someone can scan a physical artifact, and in case this was digitized and it's available in the repository, it can present associated material or the digitized version of that physical artifact. And there are also features so that I can ask questions to the cognitive assistant based on the LLM, the ChatGPT, to provide answers to my questions. But these are different applications. So the web-based VR that you have seen is one technology based on mainframe for web VR use. AR is an Android app, MR is a HoloLens app, and we have the digitizer app, which is also another application that is a tool that enables students to digitize the 2D and 3D apps. So going back to the initial architectural design, what we have here is the CREAMS repository, let's say, is a family of tools, and all are connected on a single backend platform.
A nice mosaic of applications.
Yes.
Related to this, what Mario said earlier, what about the quality of the art, the original that you have? Yeah? If you hear this bell ringing, it means it's 5 o'clock. Yeah? So, now, what about
Can you repeat the question?
the originality of the copy of the unique art? What about that? We are talking about digitization, making a replica. We are talking about virtual. We are talking about augmented, and then mixed reality, or XR. Okay, and metaverse and so on. So let's start there where the art begins. What about the original, the authentic? This is, we heard also earlier, he's even asking AI to get an advice or to get an answer to. So this is all about that. This is all about.
I think there are two sectors in this question.
A little bit louder, please, because we are.
I think there are two sectors in this question. The first one is how we can translate in the best way an artwork that it is physical into the digital world. This question can be answered with technical terms and technologies that can be measured with very precise numbers like megapixels or file sizes. And the other one is about originality as a sense, like Walter Benjamin refers to it.
Authentic.
Yes. I think you cannot translate the originality or the feeling of an artwork as an image that it is captured digitally. The interesting part is that when you capture something digitally or you translate it to another medium, it shows you what are the things that you are losing, and they are the characteristics of a medium. So I don't consider it bad to be translated in another medium. I consider it a new way to think about mediums.
No, I'm not saying this. As soon as you converted it or transferred it to the digital dimension, what about the quality of the original?
You mean quality as
quality, you know,
how you can measure
assuming
quality?
that you are the artist, okay?
Yes.
And you manage to have, at the end of the day, a unique painting.
All right.
If I'm going to digitize it, and I digitize it in such a way so that at the end I have, yes, a digital, as I say in general terms, replica. But this digital replica, if you see it, you will start shouting. You will start saying, that's a shame. I don't accept that. I don't want that. Shame on you. Destroy it.
My question is,
Yeah, you have it several times. Imagine now that we are creating the 3D of Venus, and we have in front of us the one who created that. Imagine that. And you would have probably shocked to us or say, scandal.
Although it also gives
Go
more-
to the hell. What are you doing with my original? authentic,
That's why it
great, unique, handwork.
Yes, but it gives more people the opportunity and the chance to see the artwork that maybe they can't physically come and see.
Yes, but okay. Why do we digitize?
I think it's
Why?
Because it can be lost. But I think your question about the integrity of the original work,
That's the one.
is it only if we digitize it? Because I think we all know that most of creation of classical artwork and museums, most of them are either fakes or not all of them are real. Most of them are replicas, and if you see a replica of the Mona Lisa and it's in the Louvre, you can believe, if you tell me it's true, this is the original work, I don't know if it's fake or not.
Yeah,
So
okay,
that is the integrity as well. But if you
Yeah.
digitize it, it's also like a way to bring it also to preserve the art.
Yeah, to protect, to preserve, take the long term.
They work with polygons or Curination. They have a paid version to be fully, upload a lot of pictures. So this app is going to be fully capable of, in terms of features. It's going to be close to.
Going back to the ethics, has also to do with ethics. And it needs to be ethically talking an authentical copy or authentical fake copy. Okay? But it needs to be authentical copy of the original. Now this is what I see there. If it's a copy or if it's the original, as a visitor of an exhibition, I don't know. Even it was a very good example from your friend here, the Mona Lisa. So now, why? But let's go backwards and let's see. Artifacts. We want to digitize artifacts. What is an artifact? It's art. It's the original result. It's a fact. It's the result of an artistic achievement, unique. Now, pay attention, my dear friend, because you are Greek, and you have to know that. You as a Greek person, you have to know it because it's there where everything started. So, something which is unique. The ancient Greeks, or the pharaohs, ancient Egyptians and so on, they wanted to preserve whatever they created. Why?
Why?
Yes, they wanted to preserve that. Preserve that in the original, whatever they managed to create.
But
The 3D structures, the 3D artifacts, the 3D whatever.
How we look in the back, how we look like in the future, because everything now.
No, they wanted to keep a record for the memory of the future, for the future.
Yeah.
That was the reason why we create
There was
something
like
now, even
3D, something that you can touch, but we know from the history that everything went lost and you cannot find that, or like destroyed, or like wars, everything, fire, I don't know what. And in the digital world, you can like set it in hard words, like it's like real. Everything now is digital. I'm like drawing over here, and it's like you see my hand how it works, and all the works are just printed. It's not the original.
It's an artistic, unique creation, but in a digital form.
Yeah, so everything now goes to digital. It's not like.
But we are talking about the past and about the content which we have to digitize, because otherwise we don't need the digitizer. So if I have, let's say, an exhibition of artifacts, unique artifacts, from the Hellenistic time period, let's honor our friends here, from the Hellenistic time period, and I digitize that for the nice virtual exhibition, VR, AR, MR, or whatever, Marius would like to have and use. This first, the 3D has to be exact. Otherwise, it's not the appropriate one copy. Do we agree to that? We have a common ground.
The point of showing it virtually is not to show it in an authentic way, but to use the virtual world to enhance it, to
but
show
that's
it in
the
a
problem.
different
That's the problem. They say, ethically talking, you have to replicate and keep the original.
Yeah,
It needs to be the digital twin.
maybe through the digital way, like
The digital twin, but this digital twin is not somehow in an interval of between 70 to 80, more or less. That's
But isn't that
because
we have to pay?
in an exhibition of different artifacts or different vases or different plates, more or less all of them are going to be equal. The same.
But isn't
They are
that
not.
the cost we have to pay in order to preserve something as close as it gets?
No, that's not. It's not as close as possible. It's as exact as possible.
Yes, but
Close is this interval which we have.
we have
But-
the limitation of technology there.
Yeah,
And in order to
of course, digital is mathematics, and mathematics is not exact. And of course, it's always by 99.9999999. Okay, but the point is that we are trying to replicate exact copies, exact artifacts. This is the digital twin. Within a level of accuracy. If you digitize a monument, the level of accuracy that you have is up to 2 centimeters. Accuracy. If you go beyond the 2 centimeters, nobody can use this. No architect, no archaeologist, no conservator, nobody. It's just only for the nice show, a nice animation. Voila. But this is not for the creative industry that you are creating. You create that because you have a piece of memory to preserve. Just a second, gentlemen. Just a second. It's all about to motivate you to have a nice conversation, because that's all about the digital era. It's not just make the copy similarities and all this. No, not at all. This is not the future. No, otherwise we are destroying the future. But now, that's the first one. If we want to say we would like to create the artifact, the geometry, okay, the 3D, it's a 3D, that's my hunch, let's say, the nice artifact, nice venues, is 1-to-1, more or less 99 something, accurate, copy. Okay, now to this, if this is artifact, and if this is really an old one, it has something which comes around to your slide 27, 28, under the title of metadata, to what? To information. This is the data. And now we need the information. The information contains what? Story, the intangible, about this. Okay? And if this again now is not accurate, pay attention. The information here is not accurate, sorry, something went wrong. That's the second part. And the third and the last one, all about the tangible with the intangible together, creates what? Knowledge. And this knowledge, this story, this memory has to be exact. Otherwise, forget the art. The art here is to create or to recreate, to educate, to skill with these virtual exhibitions, whomever you like as a user, in what? In the artistic, in the whatever achievements of this master, the guy who created that, plus why it has been created, where it has been created, how this guy came up to the idea to do this, wow, and leave it there for us today to go, to take it, to digitize, and, distribute it around the world so that everybody knows that there is something wow. That this is what we say, memory twin. But in the memory twin, there is not just here and there is exact. If you are in front of a historian will kill you. I mean, you know, metaphorically, because you cannot manipulate the story. Not even the 3D, not even the 3D, the tangible, not even the intangible. So everything has to be so accurate as possible. With this what I'm going to create, I don't want to lose even one bit of byte. This is on the first paragraph of this. Please, read it. It's a great mastership and it's a very good example that I'm using always for my students.
It is a problem. You cannot make an exact copy. Not even in like the material art.
Yeah, we are always, you know what Aristotle said. We are looking for something to be accurate. We start with the approximation, okay? And we are moving to what? To the more or less.
Exactly, yes.
To the more or less. So, but if, and that's now the greatest challenge in the humanities, and in the social sciences, if you would like to use the engineering, the results or tools from the engineering, from the computer science, from the informatics, in order to do something, this has to be such a genius way as it was that time, thousands of years or hundreds of years ago, so that this what you are going to replicate, this digital twin, if it's just only the geometry, the 3D structure, to be a more or less exact copy within a geometrical accuracy of some millimeters or whatever, or nanometers or whatever. On the other side, if it's now about the knowledge, the metadata, okay, it has to be in such a form so that all the information related to the stuff is there. For example, Wikipedia is by international organizations like UNESCO, like the European Commission, like the European Council, like the European Parliament, like also several other universities, is forbidden to use it as a reference in the literature. You know why? Because the content there is a big encyclopedia, one of the biggest in the world. But the content there is not correct. And that's the problem. That's the problem. That's exactly this what you said earlier. More or less is in the accurate. It gives me a direction where to move, how to do whatever to create and so on.
All I'm saying is that this is the price to pay in order to replicate things.
About all the interesting things we discussed here.
Yes.
For me and for all the science community, there's no difference between physical world and digital world. Digital world is an accepted physical world. It's physical. Okay. In terms of, especially in terms of perception. So the main thing for me is that we're sculpting new forms, let's say, of art, of reproductive art. If I reproduce a sculpture,
GPT is telling you, no, this is a Venus from Milus. Yeah, Venus is Venus, but this is the wrong Venus. Yeah? Anyway, we will have tomorrow more time to talk, but I'm telling you, that's all about in the future. You are going to a memorial, pay attention, this is what I'm telling you, sleep with this is what I'm telling you. You are going to the memorial of your grandfather and to do what? Asking to preserve what? The memory of your grandfather for the time to come, for the next generation, for your children, for your grandchildren, and so on. You are not asking, you know, keep the whatever knowledge or what memory of someone from the past, from your grandfather, as you remember your grandfather. Okay, this is how you want to preserve it. And it's a unique, this is the greatest challenge This is the greatest challenge that we are facing, my dear friends. If we manage in the digital era to create these virtual exhibitions with real replica, real memory twins, we are the winners. Here. And of course, you can manipulate it, you can do whatever you want, you can play, you can create new 3D heads of venue or whatever, new creations out of that, just for your creativity and so on. But the original is original.
I want to say something.
Yes.
It's how you approach to that. Like, if you want to do a real exhibition in reality, so maybe it's supposed to be accurate. But like in our projects, it's not like about the accurate form of things. It's like how to approach to a space or like to design a space, to understand the space.
Yeah.
This problem. It's not like I'm going to do an exhibition this way. Maybe I can build the exhibition to see it with my eyes before I build the real one. It's like the tool for something to help you to understand the real world. It's how we approach technology, and like for me, like from my experience and with CREAMS, it's not the original and the digital or something like that, because it has to work a lot about how you put everything that you made and to materials, like everything is digital and you put in the CREAMS or something like that. But how you approach to this program, it's how you will see the world. Like if I need like everything will be right, accurate, or it's like a form of help you to design and create something.
Yes, I know. But if you touch the past, whatever you do with the digital dimension of the past, it has to be accurate. Otherwise, you have ethical issues in front of you to handle, and that's. But it's a big science behind.
I have another objection here. Did David of Michelangelo was accurate in terms of ancient sculpture, ancient classic sculpture?
This is a very big discussion. We can discuss it there,
Yes.
but I would say we need to finish the agenda today, isn't it? We give our presentations, but I enjoy a lot this discussion because the greatest challenge that we have in front of us on the 21st century.
Continue with the agenda.
Yes, exactly. Oh, no. As I told you, you remember, Rebecca, when we arrived here, we are flexible with the agenda. The agenda can be dynamically changed. For us is that we go out of the Cyprus University of Technology on Wednesday and we learn something, okay? We have something here. We at least brainstorm, we thought something, and we are in the position to reuse the whatever tools, but in the correct one, approach and direction, okay? So, whatever it has, digital twins. What is the difference between the digital twin and the memory twin? Very simple one. 2 points, the digital twin and the memory twin. What is the difference? There are 2 main points. There are a lot of others, but we are interested just only in the 2 most important.
One of them is tangible, you can touch it.
Yes, this is the digital, this is the tangible, and the geometry, okay, the bottle for example, I transfer it to a digital volumetric structure, 1-to-1, you see it there. But the digital one has no meaning, it's just only geometry. This is what you have in front of you is, you see it, it's not only geometry. Materials, it's not only material, it's material for a special function. for a special, way to what? Have water inside. You cannot put any acid or whatever. It's going to break, or toxic, whatever other material. This is knowledge. This is information.
You can see the knowledge.
This is the plus and the contra and the pro.
Yeah, it's like
and it's the metadata. It's the metadata.
We talked about like that. It's like you know that it's horrible, but if it's horrible, no.
Yeah.
It's not about if we understand things from seeing. If I see a digital one, I know that it will be a bottle. I know.
But you don't know if the liquid is water or if it's.
Yeah, but I know
diesel.
what it's supposed to be a liquid inside. It's
Yes.
like you don't know which liquid I have over here. It's like the understanding and how you really approach to something.
Okay.
And understand through your past something that you see.
Exactly. Now you're going to the point. So, because you have information to the digital twin. And this information is what? Brings together some knowledge, a story, a function to them. It brings some extra information, some extra knowledge, some extra story. You know, just only water can go in. Okay, you can exchange the water with washing liquid. It doesn't matter. It's going to work too, but not for a long time. If you leave it for a long time, and especially on the sun, exposed on the sun, it's going to be destroyed. Yeah, with the wash. With the water is going to be destroyed, not the plastic. Plastic is going to have a longer life. All this is the story. It's the metadata, and that's what I said earlier. It's not only the 3D, the exact copy, but also the information accompanying the 3D. We'll give you tomorrow a very nice one example, but I need to have something with me, tangible and intangible, and you will see, you will remember it forever in your life, okay? So, but for me, the most important part, not only for me, for ICOMOS, for ICOMOS, you know what it is, yeah? The International Council of Monuments and Sites. ICOM, the International Council for Museums. ICRON, the International Council for the reconstructions and conservation and so on. And UNESCO, of course, it's extremely, or Europa Nostra and all these organizations, it's extremely important to keep a copy of the past. Because you don't know, even, you see, no, it's a war here. Or is what? A tsunami, it's a natural disaster, a human intervention and so on. Things can be destroyed, things can be, once forever, demolished and you don't have. That's the reason, just a second, I will, because they are coming from Israel, it's a very, very important thing. When I saw it, I was so amazed, yeah? And really, your Dead Sea, what do you say, the Dead Sea roll?
Scrolls,
Exactly, exactly. This is a unique knowledge. This is your identity, isn't it? And if you want to keep a copy of that or make an exhibition, are you, Rebecca, are you giving your permission to have an exhibition of more or less similar to this, what is there? No way. It's your identity. It's your DNA. Yeah? And you cannot allow to ChatGPT to say something which is not correct, isn't it? And this has been several times exhibited, yeah? This material has been several times, it has been digitized by Google, and it has been several times exhibited. And it has to be exact. And I'm finishing by saying another one example. You know the World Heritage List, the UNESCO World Heritage List? Why exists this list?
They know it because Tel Aviv is on the World Heritage List. You've heard about it?
Yeah, but even the Jerusalem, the old city of Jerusalem and so on. So why? You know why? It's saying two words. It's because the object, now a city, a site, a monument, it doesn't matter what, because it has a value. And you know what this value is? It's of an outstanding, pay attention, the two words, outstanding and universal value for the humanity. And it has to be protected.
But we are not discussing.
Now if we go and create, wait. If we go now and digitize all these objects of this list, and we present it in a virtual exhibition as we have here in CREAMS, it has to be an exact copy of the corresponding, Mario.
It is the knowledge, it's the cultural significance, it's not only the information.
No. We distinguish, in informatics, we distinguish between two things, the information and the data. If we mix them,
it is an ontological question about
informatics
the
is mixed up.
reproduction things. The reproduction things is not about the material or the way the material is shaped by the information that is being added to it, for example. So we cannot reach the perfect copy even in digital era.
Yes. But okay, nobody's perfect. Whatever we do, nobody's perfect. But yeah, okay. Then here is where we can stop them working, never do anything. But the issue is this: what we do to be more or less, as I mentioned to you, in an more or less interval there where it has to be. Tomorrow I will bring you the nice whatever statement of Aristotle. Okay? Which is unique, and you have to know it. All of us who are working in the digital era have to know it. It's a very important one. Okay? Don't try to find. Μην προσπαθείς να βρεις την ακρίβεια εκεί, όπου στην περίπτωση όταν μετράς, εντάξει, βρίσκεις το περίπου και το σχετικό. Άρα πρέπει πάντοτε να είσαι σίγουρος ότι φτάνεις στο ακριβές αποτέλεσμα. Αριστοτέλης. Πότε ζεις? 300 π.Χ. Αλλά τέλος πάντων, εντάξει. So, sorry, I just, but tomorrow I will bring it in English, I will show it to you. It's extremely important. Never forget that statement. It's always helpful for you. Whatever you do in your life, but it's very important. Yes, sorry.
That you said about information
Yes.
remind me the great novelist, scientist Maturana, who said that there's no information if you see something, if you see a statue, if you see a flower, there's no information coming up and going. It's only it happens a molecular structure change in our body, and that named it, this scientist named it historical coherence. That is connected to that you say about the memory of the past and heritage and goes on for millions of years. If you recognize that this is a camera, the status is that the camera does not say to you, I'm a camera. You recognize it by historical coherence. That's the whole matter.
The time machine. Yeah. Here. But anyway, it was just only good to brainstorm a little bit, moving from the analog to the digital, keeping not only the data, but also the information, and trying to have it in a virtual world. Doesn't matter if it's the virtual reality or the augmented reality or the mixed reality. And why? In the virtual space of, let's say, a virtual exhibition or whatever. There is a meaning always behind, okay? And you have the multi-user community. The multi-user community is not only a tourist, it's not only the student, it's not only the teacher, it's also the archaeologist, it's also the historian, it's also the, you know, if it's a monument, if it's an artifact, then probably you have also the material, the chemical engineer, huh? They are to play. We talked earlier about the bottle, but the bottle is a material, and you know what? These bottles, you can use them only 3 times. You can fill them only 3 times. Did you know that? Plastic bottles can be used only 3 times. You can fill them in 3 times, and then you have to throw them away. Why? Because we have all these nano plastics from the interior of the bottle coming out. Yeah? Yeah. So, if you digitize it, then you have to say, hey, pay attention. So is the material, is the condition of the material, it's a little bit complicated issue, this digitization. It's not so easy.
I'm not saying that.
No, I'm just only saying, just digitize, if it's not the bottom, it has to be 0.33. Otherwise, I'm not using your digital twin to reproduce bottles. Huh? Sorry, because I will put more Coca-Cola in. Yeah? Yeah, and sell it in the price of 0.33. So, okay, it was a good discussion. But anyway, Rebecca, what do you think?
If we continue with the agenda,
Yes.
I think
People are tired because they traveled today.
I don't know if everybody followed, but we had a long theoretical session.
Yes, okay, the technology didn't help us also, but nevertheless, project is cool. It's an amazing, it's a challenging one. The issue is that, okay, I don't know how to express it in Greek, but in English, I'm saying that in now, because I'm also tired. For my Greek friends here, δύο πράγματα έλεγαν οι αρχαίοι. Το παν μέτρον άριστο και το γνώθεις αυτό. Excuse me?
Everything in good measure, what you said in English.
Παν μέτρον άριστο και γνώθεις αυτό. Can you
And
translate?
know yourself, know thyself.
Yes. So, this is the framework in which we have to move, unfortunately.
What was left on the agenda for today?
It's, I think, us and you.
Okay, so maybe we should start in the morning with that.
And PR3.
Okay, as I told you yesterday, as I told you earlier, for tomorrow we want to do something. First of all, in the afternoon, we want, because you are coming from abroad, it's your first time in Cyprus, a guide is going to be here, it's going to take you free of charge to show you a little bit the city, not to know just only the hotel and the university, and then the airport to go back, even in case you go back. If you are lucky or unlucky, you can stay longer here, because I don't know if the airport open, huh? Again, and when the airport is going to open. So, but anyway, we prepare a guide for you to take you out. But we need to know also for the social dinner tomorrow. That's the first part. Tomorrow, and because you are here, and because you are coming from a country, both of you, we are in the center. You are coming from Greece, the Greeks. You are coming from Israel. So we are in the middle. If you take a circle, a radius, the distance between us, so you will see we're in the center more or less. We're playing a small regional role, and we would like you to know what else we do, because I haven't said any word about this, what we do at the UNESCO chair. Okay? And tomorrow morning, we are going to have several colleagues. And if we digitize, we don't digitize, you know, this is the object. Make a copy, a replica out of that, a 3D structure. We go from the space down to the ground. Okay? And From the ground, what do we do? From the exterior to the interior, because this is a mobile, isn't it? And the most important part of this device is inside, isn't it? It's in the interior, not outside. So, and there is where we bring everything together and we say that's a copy. And this copy now, if I want to monitor it over the time, because you mentioned, I don't know who mentioned a nice example, partially destroyed and so on. I want to know what. If it's a monument, it's not only destroyed, it's moving. You know what's happening in our region. We are moving. We are moving. There are a lot of earthquakes, even on your side, even on our side. You know, we move every year 1.5 millimeters towards Turkey. That's not fair, but that's natural. That's the natural. We cannot help it. But if there is an earthquake, we move to direction Africa. Okay? It's a fact. This is what it's visible from the space. And it's very bad to see that unique monuments, 1,500 years old, they are moving and then they are destroyed. And you don't know why they are destroyed. And we don't have only the natural, we have also the climate change. And you know, unfortunately, our meteorological professional experts are just only telling us the temperature. Oh, it's 40 degrees, it's 42. They say anything about the ultraviolet. They say anything about the infrared. Go and check. Because every day they publish these maps of the entire, of our countries. Go and check there, and then you will see. You will be afraid to go to the sea to swim. Because of the exposure to this very strong infrared or ultraviolet light. Okay? And that's why, one of the reasons why this bottle, for example, of this kind of material, if it's exposed to the sun, especially in this hot time period, voila, you have a problem. You will not be able even to use it more than 2 times, even 1 time. Okay? And that's why it is important to keep the information in record with the 3D together, with the material. Okay? In a virtual exhibition. This is what we want to carry with and have as a part of the metadata with the object together, so that the user or the artist know very well what is going on. Okay? So, my dear friends, you want to continue? No, you want to go? You have enough from Marinos to say.
I have a really good artwork as a reference for our discussion.
Yes, please.
It is an artwork from Joseph Kus with a chair. This is a chair, a photograph of a chair, and a dictionary description of a chair. And the question is, what is more chair than the other? And I thought that it was very close to what we are
Yeah. You know, because you mentioned the word chair. When I arrived at the university, ladies and gentlemen, it's a nice joke, okay? But it's metaphorical, one expression. When I arrived at the university, it was the year 2012. You know what happened in 2012? You went also through. It was the year when Cyprus declared bankruptcy, financial destruction. So, stop of recruitment, stop of no money to buy even 1 chair. So when I arrived at the university, I didn't have a chair to sit. Of course, no office, nothing. And I used, Yes, to sit for a long time period. And this is what I'm saying, because you use the word chair. Today, I have 2 chairs. the UNESCO chair and the European Research Area chair. And I don't need the chair of the university because I can, you know, partially a lot of chairs are the chairs. Yeah? Anyway, that was a joke. That's the project. It is good initiative here, but this what we need always to pay attention is we digitize, we need to be careful. Complexity, how complex is the digitization in relation to the quality, okay, of the end result, and this now to the tangible and intangible. Because if we merge, if we embed into the tangible, the intangible, what we have this memory twin. And this memory twin more or less has to be ethically talking. Exactly. Otherwise, we have a problem. Of course, if you have it and it's the exact copy there, you can do whatever you want. It's not wrong to reuse it in the way so that young people can learn out of that. Yeah, for creativity, for whatever other things. Game industry, gaming, all this what Mario's presented earlier. But I'm talking just about the original item. Okay, so we will continue then tomorrow, and tomorrow morning I will like at the beginning, Rebecca, I would like tomorrow morning to introduce you to our work that we do here from the space down to the ground. Bring all this knowledge together, trying to smell down everything in such a way so that it can be integrated in the CREAMS project. Okay? Because that is missing from there. And we need it. And we are of the opinion that something, if you made the investment to come here, at least to get the general idea of what it's all about and what you can do out of that. Okay? And then we would like to skill you a little bit more or less by using your mobiles, even now there. We will do the job with you together, and then you alone with the nice lady, Venus, and you can take it with you in such a way so that you will be able to print it. If you have 3D printers at the university, you have 3D printers?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and then you can say, this is my real copy from Cyprus, my memory from the visit to Cyprus. Okay?